Hello, welcome back. This is going to be part two of an introduction into HTML. I'm going to start this off by saying with regards to text editors, you can use whatever text editor you prefer. I personally use Visual Studio Code as it allows a lot of features that help to streamline the coding process. It allows for auto completion, and it also highlights any errors that exist. In saying that, though, you could technically use something like Notepad. It just wouldn't be as helpful as something like Visual Studio Code. Moving on to HTML structure. So an HTML document has certain required elements, these being an HTML tag or HTML element, a head element, a title element, and a body element. So the HTML element is the root HTML element, and this encapsulates all the other HTML elements. Moving on to the head tag, this contains metadata related to the HTML document and isn't displayed by the web page. So it includes things like the styling of the page, any scripts that you might want to include, which I'll go into further detail in the future. This also includes the title element. Moving on to the title element is essentially what is shown in the tab when you open an HTML document in the web browser. It's the name that comes up in the tab, and it also helps with search engine optimization. And then moving on to the body tag, this contains elements that make up the content of an HTML document. So the contents within the body tag are what actually gets rendered and shown onto the web page. Finally, HTML elements, they are often, if not always, nested. Elements can contain other elements. So an example of this, with what I've just explained to you earlier, the HTML tag is the root tag. Within that, you've got the head element and the body element. And then within the head element, you've got the title element. So the title element is essentially nested 2 layers within the HTML element. So now I'll proceed to creating a new file. Let's make this an HTML file. So you can, however you like, create a new file as long as it's got a .html extension. We're going to begin by creating an HTML tag. We're going to close that like so. So this will be the root tag. Within the HTML tag, we've got a head element, and we've also got a body element. And don't forget to ensure you've got a closing tag for each of these elements. All right, now you can visually see here how the head and the body are nested within the HTML. They are basically the contents of the HTML element. And now within the head, we're going to add the title element here. And within the title element, we will put the title of this HTML document. We'll say HTML introduction as our content and save that. So we'll save it on the desktop as intro.html. Save, right click, and I'm going to open this in the default browser. So we finally open up the page, and you might be wondering why there's nothing being displayed on the page. Well, that's because we have nothing within the body tag. But as you can see in the tab up here, it's got the title HTML introduction.